Good morning, it's Mark from The Way Back, and this is BTS004. I'm back in my office, and it's a bit of a late start to the day because yesterday's live show turned into a bit of an epic. We were talking about weight loss and Ozempic, and from a bigger picture as well, the kind of dark side of the pharmaceutical industry and things like this. And normally it's about an hour long show. I haven't checked yet, but I'm pretty sure it ran to about an hour and a half or more last night. And so I'm just kind of recouping. As you can see, I'm just set up. I'm about to start reviewing the show from yesterday. But more importantly, I've got my coffee that I've just made for myself, ready to go. But there's so much, I was reflecting on it this morning, that there's a lot I wanted to say or that came up that I didn't get a chance to say yesterday. And so I'm kind of just mulling it over right now, what the best way to proceed is. For example, yesterday during the daytime, I was having a conversation on Telegram, a two-way conversation with someone who works for the NHS, and asking their perspective on the whole Ozempic issue. And they were in the conversation, they were sharing insights into the attitudes of a lot of the staff in the NHS towards it. And I meant to read that out in the show last night, but I didn't get a chance. So one idea I've got is that I might actually, when I do the audio podcast version, is I might read that out and add that extra information to the podcast, almost like so the podcast gets a bit of a bonus. I also forgot to do the kind of top level summary. So the previous episode I'd done what take home message, what have we learned from this week, because there was so much content last night that we just didn't have the time to do that. So I might also add that to the podcast. Another option would be to just do a little breakout video, like, so not a live feed, but just a summary video talking about it. And then that can reference back to the live show. And on the live show, I can put a link in the description, say, look, here's a few extra bits that we didn't get a chance to discuss. Another option would be at the start of the next live show to kind of do a reflective look back and add some more stuff there. So there's a number of options. Put it in the podcast, do a separate video, address it in the next live show. So I would welcome your feedback. What would you want? What would be the best option for you? How would you approach this challenge? So that's where we're at today. But I think last night's show really, probably of all the shows I've done, is one of the ones that will really potentially help a lot of people. Because it wasn't just spirituality. Fundamentally, we're talking about weight loss and obesity. And the statistics I shared with you last night, that touches about 25% of people, or more actually. I think the actual figure's higher. It's 25% of children are obese. So adult obesity is an even bigger problem. And remember, it's not just the person who's got that health challenge. It's all the people that support them and all the people that are maybe supporting the problem rather than helping with the solution as well. And we, again, if you're thinking, what's he talking about? That's some of the stuff I talked about from a spiritual point of view in the show last night. There were some really important take homes. So in one way or another, I am going to summarize them. And I yet to decide. May even do it today. But I'm got to be honest, I'm pretty tired because it was a long show yesterday and a lot of prep. And by time, so I'm being kind to myself. And look, it's such a lovely sunny day as well. So I'm definitely going to be getting out there and having a walk as well and getting some fresh air. But I will crack on now and do the podcast. So I'll be sat there for the next few hours. And you'll probably find out from that what my decision was about how to move forward. But I would really value your thoughts and ideas on this. So imagine you've done a live show and then you realise, I could have said that and I could have mentioned that and I forgot to mention that. How would you tackle it? Because, we're all learning. I don't have all the answers. And that's one of the reasons I love doing the live shows. I say I do a lot of preparation. Last night's show I did a lot of preparation looking into the statistics and the medical side of things. But when it comes to the spiritual stuff, that's coming through. That's not pre-scripted. And that means that I don't know what's coming either. So when it comes, it's a joy for me as well. And I've not been in this situation before where I've realised that there was so much more I could have said, but perhaps didn't have the time to say it. And so I'm now kind of reflecting on that and asking myself, well, how best to proceed forwards. And if you've encountered that or you've got ideas, then, not one. Someone once famously said, not one of us is smarter than all of us. So I would love your input. But anyway, look, this is the fourth of these behind the scenes videos. They're kind of just an informal thing. I don't hold a schedule or anything. If you're finding them useful, just let me know. If you're finding them entertaining, just let me know. Oh, and by the way, because someone commented in one of them about they love the little cheese plant. The cheese plant is now potted. He doesn't have a name, although I just said he's a he, so I guess he's a he. But yeah, that's the kind of plant update. I've got my ferns, and I've got this one, which is, I think it's called a maiden's head fern, which it looks a bit sparse, but believe me, I brought it back from the brink. At one point, I only had 1 or 2 branches on it left, so it's slowly coming back. And you may even recognise that one from some of the earlier videos I did a few years back. And, while we're doing a plant update, I've propagated one of the fern fronds. So I don't know if you can see, but the ferns actually have these furry roots. So you can cut one off and establish it in its own pot. And is this called mother-in-law's tongue, maybe? I can't remember. And this bedraggled orchid, believe it or not, years ago someone gave it to me. It had 1 leaf left and they said, it's not got long. But I said, no, I'll give it a chance. And, it flowers every now and then, but it's always on my desk and it's a survivor. I like that about it. These guys aren't doing so well. I repotted them, gave them the proper soil, and they're all just dying off. So that was what's it called? Aloe vera, a variety of aloe vera, and I don't know why it's not working. I've had them in the sun. I've moved them here maybe just to get them out of the sun a bit, give them a break from that. So any advice on aloe vera plants, comments in the comments below. And this one, this big beast here, you can see there's some more growth coming up. I love this plant. This was a tiny little plant, a gift from one of the people that follows the way back. And yeah, look, pride of place in the office. It's just growing and growing and growing. So really happy. Obviously, it's really happy there. But anyway, this has become Plant World with Mark, which is not what I expected. And probably not what you expected. So on that note, I'll just say wherever you are, God bless you and have a great day.